Hey, this is where I've spent all my money. Hey guys, it's Layla. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Friends, if it looks like I am being drowned or buried with books, you would be correct. Today's video is very special. It's something that I thought about doing for a long time, but I had to wait until September because this marks the official 1-year anniversary of me having a Fairyloot subscription. I had been on the Fairyloot waitlist for so long and I finally got off it last September, or it was like at the very end of August, early September. And I'm so glad that I got off it because Fairyloot has, in my opinion, some of the most beautiful special edition books. The subscription that I have is the YA and adult combo box, book only, and that is my favorite box because I'd rather just have the books. Like, I love all the other stuff that comes in the YA box, but I like having just both books. Like, some of the stuff I don't have room for. You can only have so many trinkets. I just don't have room for more trinkets, sadly. Like, I love the trinkets, but I don't have room for the trinkets. It's fine. I kind of wish that I did have the romantasy book sub because I love romantasy books in general. That's probably one of my like top favorite genres. All in all total, this ends up being about 62 bucks a month, and with the romantasy, it would be about $100 a month. $62 a month I can deal with. $100 a month is when I start getting in the I don't know area, especially because I have a book of the month subscription and I still like to, you know, buy books on my own. I am on a book buying ban, but like just generally, you know. While I do love Fairyloot and book of the month, there's still like some books that are like not included in either that I still like want to go out and buy, so you know. With that being said, I am going to go over the books in 4-month intervals, and then September. I don't know like which one is the adult and which one is the YA like off the top of my head for some of these, so I'm gonna do my best guess, but when I go back and do the editing I will probably put which is which. And because it's late and we need our energy, I have an Alani. This flavor is Hawaiian shaved ice. I really like it. Also, I don't know if you can tell, but my straw has a little heart on it, or like it's heart shaped. I got this from like the Stony Clover cups for Target when the collab happened a few years ago. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a fun little detail and it makes me happy, so I thought I'd share. Did that go on a book? No, no, it didn't. Thank goodness gracious. Like, that was so close, y'all. Definitely not putting this up here with my books. I'm gonna go over this as quickly as possible, and I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, but I might do separate clips of like just showing the book. But I'm gonna do this for now and see how I like it, and then maybe like go in and do some more editing later and filming. We'll see. Here is the first stack of books. This is September through December of both the adult and YA books. These were the first books that I got from September of last year. The first is The Dagger in the Flame, and the second is The Gods Below. Really funny actually for this one, because before I even knew that I was going to get the Fairyloot sub, I literally bought this book the night before at Barnes & Noble as part of like a birthday gift. So yeah, I didn't know that this book was coming my way, but it did. These are the sprayed edges together. I absolutely love looking at the book sprayed edges when they're first coming in. Like, they go so well together. This is The Dagger and the Flame, and I believe the sequel to this just released or is releasing soon to purchase on Fairyloot. Here is the first in-paper art. Here is the second in-paper art. Here is the reversible dust jacket for this one. And then here is The Gods Below. Here is the naked hardback for this. End paper art number 1. End paper art number 2. Here is the reversible dust jacket. Here are October's books. These are the sprayed edges. Actually, I don't know if I said who the authors were for the September books. So September's books The Gods Below is written by Andrea Stewart, and The Dagger in the Flame is written by Catherine Doyle. For October, we have Air by Sabaa Tahir, and we have Sorcery and Small Magics by Magadusi. Hope I'm saying that correctly. This is Air. Here is the naked hardback. We have in paper art number 1, and we also have in paper art number 2. Here we have the reversible dust jacket. Here is Sorcery and Small Magics. I really love the edges on this one with like the violin and the butterflies. Here. Yeah. The violin and the butterflies is really cute. It's such like a whimsical, cute design. Here is the naked hardback. In paper art number 1, in paper art number 2. Here is the reversible dust jacket. Moving on to November's books, we have them right here with the sprayed edges. The books are For She Is Wrath by Emily Varga and The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. Here is a closer look at For She Is Wrath. Oh, I love this one with like the flames. Gorgeous. But here is in paper art number 1 and in paper art number 2. Here is the reversible dust jacket. Here's The Teller of Small Fortunes. I absolutely love this one. This is going to be in like one of my top contenders, which I'll go over in the end, which books are my favorite. This is definitely going to end up there. Here is the naked hardback. Absolutely stunning. I love this so much. Here is in paper art number 1 and in paper art number 2. I'm not gonna lie, this whole like colorway and design reminds me of Mulan, which is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. Just like the greens and like the sky and just like the color palette that they used. Here is the reverse dust jacket. Lastly, in this pile, we have December. These books are both kind of thick. It's hard to hold these up, but here are the sprayed edges. These two are also some of my favorites. The adult book is The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. The YA book is A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. Here is what this looks like. I think that this book design is gorgeous. And this is so unique. The original design of this is more darker and this is more girly pop. I also just love mushrooms and keys. And this is like the cutest design, I think. Oh my gosh. I think I nearly lost my mind when I saw this book originally. Here is the naked hardback of this book. Here is in paper art number 1. And in paper art number 2. Here is the reversible dust jacket. I believe that this is the original cover art. I don't know if it's the same color-wise, because I think it's a different colorway. I remember the cover being black, right? Maybe. Anyways. I need to read this soon because of the fact that the second book comes out soon, and if Fairyloot does like a matching edition, I'm probably gonna want to order it, but I definitely need to read the book first to know if I like it or not. Here is A Language of Dragons. This is also like one of my favorite sprayed edges. I love the purple and then the dragon. Here is the naked hardback. Into paper art number 1. Into paper art number 2, and the reverse dust jacket. We have finished one stack, now moving on. These are January's books. We have Cruel is the Light by Sophie Clark, which is the YA pick. We also have Immortal by Sue Lynn Tan, which is the adult pick. Here is a closer look at Cruel is the Light. The naked hardcover. In paper art number 1, in paper art number 2. Here is the reversible dust jacket. Here is Immortal. Oh, this is really pretty. I forgot about this. Wow. I think that this is really pretty. This underneath the hardback, just beautiful. I love the weapons, but with like the florals around it. In paper art number 1, in paper art number 2, here is the reversible dust jacket. Here are February's books. We have The Scorpion and the Night Blossom by Amelie Winslow. And we also have The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. Here is a closer look at The Scorpion and the Night Blossom. Ooh, I love the holographic on this, but this is the naked hardback of the book. We have in paper art number 1, and we have in paper art number 2. This is the reversible dust jacket. Here is the Rose Bargain. I think that this is so pretty. If you couldn't tell, I love the color pink. This is just giving everything to me. Here is also the naked hardback. Wow. In paper art number 1 and in paper art number 2. Here is the reverse dust jacket, but with a purple colorway. Moving on to March, here are the sprayed edges together. We have the YA book, which is Where Shadows Meet by Patrice Caldwell. And we have a book that I am excited for and I haven't started, but I would like to at some point, which is Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. Here are some closer looks. The naked hardback of Where Shadows Meet. I really, really love this. Especially the sword, like hello. We have in paper art number 1 and in paper art number 2. Here is the reverse dust jacket, Gifted and Talented. Here is the naked hardback. Again, I really love these edges. In paper art number 1, in paper art number 2, the reversible dust jacket, which is very similar to the original art, just a different colorway. Here are April's books. We have The Glittering Edge by Alyssa Valaire. This is the YA pick, and we have This Monster Is Mine by Shalini. I do not want to mess up how to pronounce that, so I'm just going to not. Also shout out to the swords as sprayed edges with this and Where Shadows Meet. Look at them together. Chef's kiss. This is a closer look at the book. The naked hardback. In paper art number 1 and in paper art number 2. If I am believing this correctly and the sources are true, this is supposed to be like an Alina Darkling inspired story, like from Shadow and Bone. I always think that they should have made the Darkling morally gray or made Alina more morally gray, but that's one of my favorite YA series and I feel like I don't talk about it enough. I love Shadow and Bone. The fact that the series was canceled on Netflix is a tragedy. Like, I don't know why Netflix did that. Like, that's one of, I think, the worst decisions that Netflix has made because that was such a great show. Here is the reversible dust jacket and here is the glittering edge. This is another really pretty one. Like, I love the purple. And the cat, so pretty. Here is the naked hardback. In paper art number 1, in paper art number 2, the reverse dust jacket, which I think that this is a really cool concept. We are getting there, I promise. Watch, I'm gonna edit this down and it's going to like be super quick because I'm just going through the books fairly fast. This is in reality taken about an hour and a half so far. We have May's books, which are 2 of my favorite designs. May has like gotta be one of the top contenders for the best month. Not only do these look good together, but the books. The adult pick is, drumroll please, because I was really excited to see this. The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Truly, when I found out this was going to be a Fairyloot book, I think I lost my mind because I love Rachel Gillig. She has become one of my top favorite authors. Her writing style and her ideas, just everything about her stories are so unique and well done. The YA book is The Floating World by Axie O. Here is a closer look at The Night and the Moth. girl. This is what the naked hardback looks like. Stunning. We have in paper art number 1 and we have in paper art number 2. The reversible dust jacket is just the normal book cover, but with pink writing or font coloring instead of the white. Here is a closer look at the floating world. It's a little textured, which is cool. I totally forgot about that detail. And I really like this one. Wait till you see underneath the dust jacket. Wow. I have no words. Like, this with the knight and the moth looks so good together. Here is in paper art number 1. It's kind of cool too, the holographic. In paper art number 2. We have June's books. Here are the sprayed edges together and 2 of my favorites. I keep saying that, but like, it's true. I really love these 2. The YA book is Heir of Storms by Lauren Hamilton Murray. And the adult book is another book that is really high on my list to read. When I saw that Fairyloot was doing this book, I also was very excited, and it is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. Here is a closer look. I freaking love this. Here is the naked hardback. In paper art number 1. In paper art number 2. The reverse dust jacket, which is very similar to the original one, just a different colorway. Here is a closer look at Heir of Storms. I really love the colorway of this with the blues and the pink. Here is the naked hardback. Love it. This with like the sprayed edge looks so cohesive and well done. I think that looks really cool. End paper art number 1. End paper art number 2. Here is the reversible dust jacket. Here are July's books. So pretty. I love these just so much. Wow. We have the Nightblood Prince by Molly X. Chang. And we also have A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. Here is a closer look at the Nightblood Prince. The naked hardback, also very similar to the other one, where if you move them both out, it just makes a fan. I really love the detail. In paper art number 1. In paper art number 2. Here is the reversible dust jacket, which is very similar to the original. This is also signed. I haven't gone over which ones aren't signed because that would also take ages, but a lot of the Fairyloot books are either signed or they have a digital signature or they have like an author letter with a digital signature. So here is a closer look at Dance of Lies. I really like this one too. The stained glass art, I don't know if you can see that, but like, it's so good. I think the attention to detail on this is so good. Here is the naked hardback. It's so pretty. In paper art number 1. In paper art number 2. We have August's books. The YA choice is Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. And the adult book is Catabasis or Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. I don't really know how to pronounce this, and I've heard it said and pronounced many different ways, so I just did both to be like sure. Here is a closer look at Immortal Longings. Oh, shoot. Started sliding out of the dust jacket. Here is the naked hardback. I really love this one. It's really pretty. In paper art number 1. In paper art number 2. The reverse dust jacket. This is so cool. Love this. Love the dark academia vibes. Slightly disappointed because this is dented. I am pretty sure that this came dented and I didn't open it up close enough to when I received this, but that's fine. I really love this. This is the naked hardback underneath. End paper art number 1. End paper art number 2. Here is the reversed dust jacket. Finally, we have the finale, which is the September 2025. These are really thick, kind of hard to hold up. This one I know, or I feel would put me on a Rob list, and it is Alchemized by Sin Lin Yu. I do realize that this is one of the most popular fan fiction turned books of all time. I am so glad that Fairyloot decided to make this one of their picks. And we also have the YA book, which is Never Ever After by Su Lin Tan. There is a detail on this that I love very much, and it is her reflection, and in her reflection she is holding a dagger or like a sword or something. I really love that detail. It's so fun. So here is Never Ever After. Here is the naked hardback for Never Ever After. End paper art number 1. End paper art number 2. The reversed dust jacket. Here is a closer look at Alchemized. This is a huge book, kind of heavy, so I'm trying to be careful with her. The sprayed edges on this one are so fun. Here is the naked hardback of this book. End paper art number 1. End paper art number 2. The reverse dust jacket, which I believe is a red colorway, whereas the other original colorway is like a grayish. I also would like to say that these aren't just the other books that I bought from their sales. These are just the subscription boxes. So if we want a video that is just like books that I have purchased that are not a part of their sub, let me know and I can make a video about that. But I wanted to do this one first. Now we get into some of the statistics. Now I may be calling myself out a little bit and showing my cards because I have not read many of these books. In fact, looking at the numbers, have only read 4 and I have 1 DNF. So these are the books that I have read, / one of them was a DNF. Let me go through them. So I have read Immortal Consequences, The Knight and the Moth, The Teller of Small Fortunes, and A Language of Dragons. The DNF that I had was Cruel is the Light. Unfortunately, this one pains me because it has a celestial theme going on, and I just couldn't get into this book for reasons that are on my review on Goodreads. I do need to read these books though, because if I don't enjoy them, I could probably sell them and give them to somebody who I know would enjoy them more than I would. I know how hard it is to get some of these Fairyloot books, so I mean, I do what I can. And I could put that money towards books that are like second in series if I enjoy them. Now we have the categories that I'm just gonna combine because a lot of books are in the same category, and it is what books I think are the prettiest and like my favorite personal ones, and also the books that are highest on my TBR. Let me just say, I think that these books are all gorgeous in a different way, but obviously we have our own favorite type of aesthetic, and I'm very much like a girly fairy, like mushroom fairy girly. This one or this and another one might be tied for first place, but I just really love this book. You are going to have to pry this book out of my cold, dead hands because first of all, I just love the book and Rachel Gillick, as I said before, and I just think that this is beautiful. A lot of the other Night in the Moth books are more darker and have more darker color tones, and I love that this is more pastel. I love the art of Sybil on the front. I love the moths. You can't really, I don't know, maybe tell, but there's some silver and it makes them a little holographic. I just think that the design choice on this was stunning, especially considering all the other Night in the Moth books have a different aesthetic, and this just makes it very unique. With that, I also would like to shout out The Floating World. I think that this is also such a beautiful one. I gotta be honest, this and like especially the naked hardback underneath is gorgeous, and it also looks really well with The Night and the Moth, which they both came in the same box together. Also, the original cover of this book is not appealing to me. Like, I gotta be honest, if I saw that and I was just browsing a bookstore, I wouldn't be as drawn to it as I am this. Yeah, no, that's not, I just don't like it. That might be harsh, but I'm looking at the cover of the book and it's not bad, but it wouldn't necessarily draw my attention the way that that does. Next up, we have The Teller of Small Fortunes. Again, very pastel. It reminds me of one of my favorite Disney movies, Mulan. You really can't go wrong with this. Also, I love this book. It's a cozy fantasy. If you haven't read this, please read it. There is going to be like an interconnected standalone, and I really hope that Fairyloot does release a book to that. I haven't seen anything on their Instagram yet, but I really hope they do because I will be first in line to buy it. I also think that the glittering edge is beautiful. I love pastel pink and pastel purple. This has a lot of purples on it, which obviously that's a big draw for me. Also, like the celestial theme, again, love celestial themes. And the cat. Next up, I think that Gifted and Talented is beautiful. I love it so much. I love like that shine and the edges. The cohesiveness of this book is very good. This is the book that is like tied for first place with me, The Rose Bargain. I just love pink. If you couldn't tell, it is everything to me. I love pink. I love the character art in this. The premise of the book sounds very interesting. This is very high on my TBR and I just haven't read it yet, haven't had a chance. I've heard like some so-so things about it, but it's also like very selection-esque meets fantasy. So I really love the selection. That was one of my favorite books that I read when I got back into reading. I wish that I had read it when like it first came out and all the hype was there. But yeah, so I am 50-50, but I think that this book itself, beautiful. The Courting of Bristol Keats is my third place most beautiful book and probably the book that is highest on my TBR from my Fairyloot books. She is so stunning. Again, I love mushrooms and I love keys. Little mushroom fairy. That's my alter ego, I feel like. Like if I were to be just like a fairy, I would be a little mushroom fairy with a little mushroom hat. I just, look at it. Look at it. And also similar to The Night and the Moth, this design choice was flawless. The regular book isn't bad looking. I really like the regular book as well, but this is just so different. Like truly hats off to the design team because some of these books are stunning. I think that they're all stunning. Why does this keep moving, girl? We have Catabasis or Catabasis. I really love this. I just really love the dark academia vibes for this. And I haven't read anything by R.F. Kuang. If I were to read something, this would be the first thing probably. Just because this is like the first book that I own by her, but you know, I do also want to really read the Poppy War trilogy. I've also heard that it's really heavy, so I don't know, but yeah, I think that the book is gorgeous. Next up, we have A Dance of Lies. This is very high on my TBR. I remember when I first opened this, I started reading the first few lines and I was like, oh, I really want to keep reading this, but I was literally doing an unboxing. But yeah, I also think that this is beautiful. Again, love the stained glass as I showed earlier. And it just sounds interesting. I love the edges. I don't know. We have a few more books. The first is also Air of Storms. I was very interested in this like before Fairyloot even delivered this. It was on my TBR, and now that I have the book, that makes me happy because I like getting books that are on my TBR. One thing that I will say is Fairyloot's subscriptions have been fire because a lot of books that I've wanted to read in general have been part of the Fairyloot sub. There have been a few that have been on the Romantasy too, but I don't have that sub, so it's fine. But this next book is definitely one of those, and it is the Borear Bones in the Midnight Soil. I've talked about this in like so many different videos, but it is very high on my TBR. This is the time to read it, I know. With it being October, it's just that I have so many books that I want to read, but this is probably going to go on my 10 before the end if I don't finish it in October. It sounds really good and right up my alley. The next and final book that I have to show is, of course, Alchemized. It is high on my TBR, and I think that the book is gorgeous. It is pretty high on the higher end, but I don't know. I will be honest. I would like to read Manigold first before I read this. And I know that you technically don't have to, but I just personally would like to. It's been sitting on my iPad for so long, unread. But also with how dark this book is, it's not on my immediate TBR. I know that it is for a lot of people, but I just think that with my mental headspace that I'm currently in, it might be a bit too dark. I thought that I would be able to read Rose in Chains and be okay, and I was not. Like, I'm gonna be quite honest. It wasn't a bad book. I like Julie Soto's writing, and it was not a bad book by any means, but like some of the themes I just really couldn't get behind. It was like auctioning people off to use people. And then I also have a hard time separating the original IP from like this new book. So if I know that this is about Dramini, I'm going to look for the parallels no matter what. So I might as well do my favorite thing of reading the original work and then reading this and then comparing them, making notes on the changes. I do think that if I would have read the original fanfic of The Auction, I might have been more okay with it. And I don't know why that is, but I think it would have been more of like a journalistic aspect, or like just, I don't know how to really explain this. Like I would be more or less thinking about like both of them as separate entities and seeing how well the story was done, if that makes sense, like the transfer. So yeah, this was so fun, and I've been wanting to do this video for like ages. I do think that my sub is worth it. I think part of next year, I want to make it my goal to read more of my special editions and put them in like a separate TBR jar and like pull them out and read them. But then part of me is like, they're so pretty. I don't want anything to happen to them. You know what I mean? Like, it is such a double-edged sword. This is fine. As I'm filming this today, they also just announced like a quarterly Cozy Fantasy subscription, and I might do that if it's quarterly. We'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna put myself on the list. I do really love Cozy Fantasy. That's a fun genre. Are you guys a subscriber to Fairyloot or any other special edition book boxes or like book subscription services? I know that there's also like Owl Crate, Bookish Box. Other than Fairyloot, I think that the Bookish Box is my favorite subscription service, and I would totally also subscribe to them if I had the money. But then also I think that the issue and reason I haven't done that is because I live in an apartment, and I don't know, I just feel like there's a possibility at any time that I could move. Like, maybe not, but you know what I mean? And I do know that with the Bookish Box, there's like a lot of delays in sending stuff. So like, I feel like that would drive me insane. But I am fortunate enough to where I live semi-close to the Bookish shop in Gilbert, Arizona. So I can go there, and sometimes they have their special editions for sale. So I'm able to find those on occasion. So yeah. But yeah, I love sharing my collection with you. If you guys would like to see just the books that I purchased, not a part of the sub, but like add-ons or like just other sale books, let me know and I will totally do that. I love talking about special edition books. Pretty books are like one of my favorite things. So yeah. Hope you guys have a lovely day or night or whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!